Welcome to episode 2 of the Mystic Podcast. Hope you are all well. Hope you had a good week. I just want to start off by saying thank you everybody who tuned in for the first episode. Nearly at 1,000 views, which is great. I didn't expect that for the first episode, but that's a good start, guys. If you are new to the podcast, make sure you hit that thumbs up on the video, which helps out a lot, and also subscribe if you want to stick around for more. There's going to be an update very soon on my return to streaming games. We're going to be streaming some Fortnite and stuff like that there, because there's no build in Fortnite 9, which is great. I've been begging for this here for ages, but we'll not get into it. We'll get into that further down the line, and maybe on a further podcast, maybe in the next one, maybe more updates than then. But today is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a lot better than last week's, because we're a lot more prepared. I kind of just went at it last week and kind of just, it's like, fuck it, we'll roll with it. I don't know if it was good or not. It's up to you guys to decide, but we're here to improve on the podcasts every week. This will be going up right now after I finish up recording. If you still hear any crying in the background, it should not pick it up, but the kids are just messing around in their room there, so it is what it is. But we have a few topics of interest today. We're going to be going through the Mag Tyson Incident. Yeah, it's well over a week old, but I kind of want to delve into it, and show you the video as well if you haven't seen it. Secondly, we'll be talking about Elon Musk and the takeover of Twitter, and a few other things about the Mars mission and all that sort of stuff. There is gaming related topic in this one as well. We'll be talking about controversial a controversial move from gaming companies to put ads into their games. Now, I have a strong opinion on that there, so stay tuned for that there. That will be the second topic of today. But yeah, there's one that I have not put on here yet, and I'm just going to talk you through it. There's a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but there's a few people out there who know me and have asked me like what it's like to work abroad. So let's delve into it. Let's get started, guys. So I think it was back in 2017, I believe, either 2017 or 2018. I'm not too sure. I can't remember, but it's either one of them years. So I met my then girlfriend, who is now my fiance, in January. We'd known each other for years before that, but we never hung out and nothing like that there. And yeah, she was planning on going over to Magaluf for a season. So a season is roughly about 7 to 8 months. So if you go in March and you come home at about the end of the season, which is around October. But the location that we went to was obviously Magaluf, as I said there. I didn't know if I was going or not. So I kind of made the decision myself, and I was like, would you like me to come over as well? Something different, I kind of didn't. It would never cross my mind to work abroad, but the more the time was coming closer, the more that I was starting to, get tempted by working abroad, like, something different, because all I've known is gaming. So up until that point, before I moved over to Spain, we were streaming flat out. This was the 2-3 years where I was spending most of my time up in my room. If I wasn't working, I'll be streaming and stuff like that there. But this is kind of the turning point of the downfall of streaming consistently and making content by moving over there. But let's get stuck into it. So I had a job. I was working as like a waiter and stuff like that there, a barman in a hotel here where I live. So I kind of just stuck at it for about another month or so, and then I ended up getting sacked. We'll not get into that. I never did nothing bad. They were just your typical employer who just didn't give anybody a chance. So it is what it is. This was literally a couple of weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks before I was leaving to go to Magaluf. Literally, folks, no money. I literally had no money. So if you're ever if you're ever thinking of working abroad, which I highly recommend, especially if you're around 18, 19, whatever, and you're still enjoying your teens and you want to delve into a new experience, I would highly recommend it. But make sure, and I can't express this enough, make sure you plan everything. Make sure you have enough money. Make sure you have everything sorted before you go over, and just go from there. Like, there's so many ways of getting apartments and getting jobs over there before you make that journey. There's a lot of holiday reps or holiday sites on Facebook that sort that kind of stuff out for you, like Magaluf. I forget what the actual name is for it. I'm not too sure, but it's Magaluf something, right? And they help you out with all this sort of stuff. You pay, like, I don't know how much money it is. I'm just going to go for an example. Say £300. You put your deposit down, and you meet them. So say, for example, you get a ticket to go over to London. You would meet all them at Heathrow or whatever airport or whatever, and you would go as a group. And they would, once you get over to Magaluf, they would show you around and stuff like that there, and give you tips on how to, like, get a job and stuff like that there. I believe they supply you with an NIE number, so to be able to work abroad, especially in Spain, you need an NIE number or NIE fucking documents. It doesn't take that long. You just need your passport and stuff like that there. It's just so you're eligible to work over there. So say if, like, I forget what they call the police over there, like Guardia. So the Guardia, if they came up to you and asked for your documents to see if you can legally work, you just show it, just get the employer, and they'll show the available documents and stuff like that there. But you cannot work without one, unless you're working for some dodgy place, which there's a lot of dodgy places over there. But let's not get sidetracked here. But yeah, so obviously I got sacked and stuff like that there, and I was kind of a bit low on money. But I was still going to go over. Stacey went over 2 weeks before me, because obviously this was all planned beforehand. This was all planned from the year before, and I made the journey 2 weeks after, and I was not much of a money bother. I literally, I'm not proud of this actually. I went and asked my father, could have borrowed like £150. So took £150. He was a legend and gave me the £150. I paid him back. Don't you worry. Give me £150. Transferred that into euros. Went down to Dublin, and obviously waited around and had a few pints and all before I got on the plane. And fuck, literally, once I got there, there was initially there was meant to be someone that Stacey knew to come and collect me, but that all changed, and obviously they couldn't because of work commitments and stuff like that there. Fuck, I was a stutter and a half, eh? And I had to get a taxi from Palma to Magaluf, which is about, I think it's about 40 minutes, maybe a 40-minute drive. It was 55 euro. Now, I literally had about 100 euro to do me until I found a job and stuff like that there, which I didn't find a job for a good while actually. But once I got over there, we arrived on the strip. So obviously they give the taxi man the location. Like, I think the apartments were called Maria Elena. So obviously I was staying there with Stacey. So at the start, I didn't have to pay any rent or anything out there. But you know what it is. Like, I'm one of those people who's like, oh, it feels like I'm freeloading here. I don't want to freeload, but it is what it is. I was over there, and they took care of me and stuff like that there. So, but anyway, they dropped me off halfway up the strip. So I had no clue where I was going. Like, there's apartments on the right apartments on the left. I had no clue. I was in a foreign country. I didn't know where the fuck I was going. There's me fucking getting out of the taxi with my suitcase, walking around like a doofus, literally. So I got on the phone to Stacey, and I was like, "Where is this place?" He was like, "Whereabouts are you?" I was like, "I'm on the strip." Well, I think I'm on the strip anyway. So I was halfway up, and she was like, "There's buildings on your left. You take a road. There's like a bar called, was it City Lights? I think it's City Lights. Not too sure. Can't remember. It's been quite a while, folks. But obviously I was halfway up, and I went down like an alleyway, and I couldn't find this place at all because there was no entrance on the left. So it was an alleyway, from one of the bars going straight down. Little did I know the apartments were literally on my left hand side, but obviously I didn't know, until she said. I was like, "Oh yeah, I see them," and then she was like, I was like, "There's no gate to get in here." She's like, "You had to go down to the bottom of the hill, turn right, and then go over there." So obviously there's me walking down the hill, still getting lost. So I literally had to fucking stop someone and say, "Can you point me in the right direction of this apartments, because I have no clue where I am here." And he's like, "Are you here for the season? Are you working here?" I was like, yeah. And he fucking was dead on. I thought I was going to get glassed or something, or bottled or whatever. But he was very dead on. I think he was like from Manchester or something. He was working over there as well. And just give me a handshake and stuff. I was like, "Wow, happy days." Fuck, man. I thought Magaluf was hostile from fucking all the reports and all that shit. But nah, he was dead on. So I got down to the bottom of the hill, turned right, and obviously, lo and behold, an entrance to the apartments. And that's how I got there. So I got there with €100 in my pocket, €50 fucking cab fare, and that was the start of the journey. Now the next part was to find a fucking job, and I needed to find the right contacts to get me an NAE number. But that came along once I went searching for jobs. There was a place called, it's an actual chain of clubs that are owned by the same place. I'm trying to think what the actual bar was called that was my first job. Boomerang. It might have been called Boomerang. I can't, for the death of me, remember the name of it, but I think that's it. I think. I'm not too sure. I probably should have got these pictures up and showed you the pictures, but yeah, we'll go with Boomerang. So obviously went, and there's a few other people there as well who were looking jobs, and he called us in one by one, and obviously we gave him the passport, and from there he obviously went and got the suitable documents for us to work. So obviously we were shown around the place and all that there, and what was to be expected, from everyone. Like, you literally have to work every fucking night, more or less, may get the odd night off, but we'll get into the actual shift patterns in a bit. But yeah, that was my first job in Magaluf. I think it was 2 weeks after arriving. The season didn't start properly for probably a month after our first shift, because it was still early on in the season. So we got our uniforms and stuff like that there, worked away. I tell you what, I am not necessarily a nervous person. In most circumstances, yes, I am, but the other half is like, I'm not really that nervous, to be honest. It really does depend on the situation, but I was fucking nervous as shit going into that job. Obviously, because I didn't know what pace you had to work at. Apparently, like, there's loads of people putting pressure on you, saying, "Oh, you need to be fast. You need all this shit. You need fucking don't have anybody standing at the bar without a drink." I'm like, okay, well, that's not too hard. Like, I'm a fucking barman. Like, so I have a bit of experience working in a bar. But obviously not to this magnitude. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the first part. I think I worked there for an amazing 2 weeks. Class wasn't amazing. It was alright. But it kind of gave me a basis or a foundation to work upon from there. But we haven't even got into it yet, folks, because I had such a fucked up working relationship with everyone until my last job, which we'll get to. But Yeah, so obviously they opened up Boomerang for the first few days, and then had a day off, and then they opened up the second club, which was halfway down. Wait there. Oh, got a wee bit of frame drop there. So it was halfway down the strip, or halfway up the strip, whatever way you want to. Okay. 2 seconds, folks. I just want to sort this out first. Alright, sorry about that, folks. We're just having a wee bit of issue with frame drops there. Apologies. Hopefully we don't see any more of that there. Apologies, guys. So let's get into it again. So obviously you're halfway up the strip. You've got a club on your left-hand side. Again, I cannot remember the name of it, but it was a pretty big club. So you enter the door from the top, and then there's steps going all the way down underground. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool bar. But it was maybe a week later. I just couldn't be asked with it. The boss was an asshole, so I was like, you know what? If you're gonna treat me like an asshole or treat all the people like an asshole, well, you can go fuck yourself. So I just walked out mid shift. I think it was around 12 o'clock. I was like, you know what? Fuck off. I'm out of here. Not exaggerating. That's exactly what I said. Obviously, in a foreign country, I kind of like, kind of grew a bit of balls. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was definitely a stepping stone. That's definitely the experience that I needed, because obviously since then I've just never took shit off anybody, which is the way everyone should be, like the amount of times that I was fucking talked to like a dog in various amount of jobs over there was ridiculous. So I just upped and left, either that or I just waited for them to sack me, But yeah, but one of the not one of the owners, but one of the people who have a say in it. He's like a bouncer, kind of just takes control of the front of the place and stuff like that. He was fucking dead on. He got me. He was very dead on. He appreciated everything that everyone did, like working terms. And I walked out and I said to him, look, I can't deal with him anymore, so I'm literally out of here. And at this point, I still didn't have my NAE papers. And this man sorted me. I think it was his name was, I think it was Danny or something. But he was very dead on, and he was very dead on to me. So anytime, like throughout that whole season, I was walking up and down the strip or whatever, if I was out having a drink or seeing a mate, he literally would just stop you in your tracks and just chat along with you. He was a top dude. If I ever see him again, he'd be gonna high five for me. But yeah, make sure, like, if you are gonna go over and going to search for a job, obviously some of these companies will help you find a job. When I went over, obviously I didn't go through any of that stuff. I already had accommodation waiting for me, obviously, because Stacey had an apartment there. So with two friends, DJ Eamon K, legend. He also streams on Twitch. Very, very close. Me and Eamon he's a brilliant DJ. He was DJ for quite a few places over there, and he was fucking brilliant. Any free time that I got, I would be up there, and literally he knew how much I loved Post Malone, and any time that I came into a club where he was DJing, literally Post Malone, boom, had me rocking, but he's a top dude. I will actually drop his Twitch channel down in the description if you want to head over and check him out. That'd be awesome. But yeah, where were we actually? What were we talking about? But yeah, so if you are going to go over, make sure you have everything planned out and know exactly what you want, because over in Magaluf, you've got job roles like obviously barman, barwoman, waiter, which is not great. I've did it. It's not great. It's not the worst, but it's not great. Unless you want to be a waiter and serve people their drinks, great, class. Glass collector, did it. It was fucking shit. You're literally on your feet every single second of the night. No breaks. You're literally going around collecting empty glasses. If anybody's like smashes a glass, you have to go over and clean it and all that shit. There's things over there what do you call them? Shishas or shish kebab or whatever you call them. So it's obviously those fucking you get like a stone or something I don't know has flavor and all in it, charcoal or whatever. You light it and obviously you would smoke. Pretty cool actually. They were pretty nice, but you would set them up and all that there. I'm trying to think what other ones there was. Um, no, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. There's not really. Oh, PR. So you'll know what a PR is if you've ever been on holidays abroad. They're everywhere, not just in Magaluf. I mean, literally everywhere. Probably not necessarily in countries out of Europe. Mainly probably like Spain. Places where they have big clubs and stuff. You would have people outside working for that company and trying to bring people in, giving them offers on drinks just to lure them into the bar. We'll get back to the PR part in a wee minute, but so when I left that job, the first one, there's a bar that was just about to open in the square. So the square is famous, especially in what do you call it, in Magaluf. So it's like a chain of bars in like a square, obviously. Okay. You got BCM as well, which is literally just beyond it, the back entrance. BCM is people will know what BCM is. I'm not even going to get into it. It's a huge nightclub. So they've had a lot of famous what do you call them? Famous DJs and all that there, famous celebrities in there as well. So it's a pretty iconic nightclub in Magaluf. But obviously there was a bar, and it caught my eye straight away because when I was walking through the town, obviously I had a wee look in and I seen obviously the bars, and I was like, I literally had to look twice because I thought it was like a joke or something like that there. I thought that's what I actually thought it was. It's an actual Peaky Blinders bar. I couldn't believe it. So the first thing I did was went over and obviously asked for the job and stuff. And I worked there for a couple of days, and we literally had to come back to Ireland for a few days because it was my little sister's 18th. And obviously I had a plan coming back over for a few days with Stacey and obviously proposing. So I proposed to her, probably not in the most romantic way possible. I did plan it, but we kind of ran out of time, so we couldn't really do what I wanted to do. So we kind of just, she was upstairs sleeping in my bed. Obviously, I went up. Obviously, I was sitting downstairs, and obviously everybody knew that I was going to ask her. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go up and ask her. It's not romantic, but you know what? It's the part that counts, right? It's the part that counts. But I went up and shit myself. She thought I was gonna break up with her. I was like, well, to be fair, the way my body language was, I couldn't blame her for fucking thinking that I was gonna fucking break up with her or something, because it says, "Can you sit up for a minute? I want to talk to you about something." She's like, "Oh no." I was like, "Oh fuck." Shitting my load, I swear to God. So obviously told her how much I loved her and stuff, and then I obviously said, got down one knee and asked her to marry me and stuff like that there. But look, it is what it is. I probably should have waited till I went back and went on the beach or something like that there, but look, it is what it is. I'm one of those people who's like, once I have something in my mind, I have to get it done ASAP, you know what I mean? It's the same with like if I'm buying anything for the setup. Right there. That's ran out. But if I need anything for the setup and I don't have the money, I still find a fucking way of buying it. Whether that's selling things or doing a wee bet or whatever, or fucking it's not healthy, but I've kind of grew out of that there now. But yeah, obviously when we went back officially engaged, which is nice, which is lovely. Obviously we went back and I didn't have a job anymore. It was just the timing of things. Obviously, the square wasn't that busy. The bar wasn't getting much attention because it's still early on in the season. So they laid me off. They asked me in, for not like an interview, but like just to talk to me. And it wasn't the only one. I was look. Don't get me wrong. I was fucking pissed. I was pissed off, like because I thought my mind was set on that job. You know what I mean? I thought that was the one that would last me the whole season, but it wasn't. It's never that simple. So obviously they said, look, we're not getting enough business at the moment, but once things start picking up, come back and we'll see what we'll have available. Which I did. And I worked for a further couple of weeks, I think. But I wasn't a barman like I was the first few nights in Peaky's. That put me down as a waiter. I forget what the actual term is for a waiter. I can't remember, but obviously I was taking orders and stuff like that there and bringing people their drinks, which was alright. Like, it wasn't the worst job in the world, to be honest. Glass collecting is worse. I'm just trying to remember now why I left. I can't remember why I left Picky's, but the next place that I went to, oh fuck, that's a good one. I think I was without a job for another 2 weeks or so, and obviously I was out searching for jobs and just any jobs going or whatever. There's a lot of places in Magaluf that offer a trial run. So if you're going to ask a bar if there's any jobs available, they would give you an answer like, yeah, we need a glass collector, we need all this shit. There's no interviews or anything like that there unless you speak fluent Spanish and you're working in a hotel or something like that there. Obviously that's completely different. But mostly the British bars over there or whatever would offer you a trial run. So if you go in, do your trial run, if you impress, they'll offer you the job, and then that's you set. I think the next place that I worked in was, I'm trying to think, Chaplin's. I think it was halfway up the strip on the left hand side. Just a small enough bar, like it was a small enough one. We're dropping frames again. Bear with me, folks. I'm just going to cut this off again. Alright. Again, sorry for that, folks. I don't know what's going on here about this shitty fucking software. Seems to be getting worse. God damn it. Apologies, guys. So, again, as I was saying, I was in Chaplin's and I was doing glass collecting. So I've never did glass collecting before. I didn't even know it was a fucking job in the first place. So obviously I had a trial run. Trial run was fine. But it was it the trial run? No. This was not fine, actually. I lie. So I was doing my trial run. Before I went down to my trial, I went down to my fiance's work, where she was working. She started at 7, I believe, but she went down a wee bit earlier, and I didn't start. I wasn't meant to be starting till about 8, I think. So I went down to the bar, and obviously I was good friends with obviously people in her bar, like the bar staff. We were friendly with, and they gave me a shot, and it was like a red shot, alright. So I had a couple of beers before that, and it was a red shot, and I was like, oh, happy days, because it was the actual manager who brought it over. He's like, enjoy. I was like, what? So it was obviously so what I thought the actual shot was Jet Boom. So Jet Boom is like the equivalent of an aftershock over here, just a lot stronger, but tasted nice. All right, I think it was like 48% or something like that there. So there was me thinking, oh, happy days, free shot, class, unreal. Took the shot, and I swear to God, guys, it was the worst experience that I've ever had in my life. Because it was not Jet Boom / aftershock. It was what do you call that piece of shit vodka? Absence. It was fucking absence, and it was the red one, and it's the fucking worst one. So that shot alone fucked me up for the whole night, because I went to that job halfway pissed, and obviously when I got into my shift, Obviously, you were allowed to drink on the shift, but weren't allowed to fucking get absolutely smashed. Little did I know that this would happen to me that night. So I asked your boy, and he was actually very dead on. He was working behind the bar, and I asked him, "Give me the dirtiest drink you can ever fucking make." And he was like, "Yes, sir." I was like, "Oh fuck me, what up?" Little did I know at this point, I was like, "Oh, this is not a bad idea at all," you know. So literally, he put in absinthe, he put in gin, he put in vodka, he put in literally every spirit that was available. Filled it with like lemonade or some shit like that there, and I tasted it, and it nearly blew the head of me. Just one sip, but I went and drank it anyway, and I'd say about half an hour to an hour later, the last thing that I remember from that night or that shift even was holding the tray with drinks on it. I think there was about 4 pints on it, and I was going to a table across the bar, um, and the whole tray literally just tilted, and the glass smashed everywhere. But the barman or the actual manager came over to me and says, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, are you pissed?" I was like, "No." But I was fucking mangled. I mean mangled. And he was like, "Just go home. Just fuck off and go home." I was like, "No, no, no. There's me being me. I'm too nice." And literally said, "No, no, I'm grand. I'm grand. I'll work. I'll work. I'll work." And I literally would refuse to leave. And he was like, "You know what? Get the fuck out. I don't want you back here." I was like, "Oh, well." Little did I know, I didn't really give a fuck at that time. But obviously, the day after, I was like, "Yeah, this sucks cock." And obviously, I tried to get my job back, but it was never going to happen. But I didn't really want to work there anyway. But that's beyond the point. Don't do what I did. Don't fuck up. Do your job and enjoy your drinks during the night and just space them out and stuff like that. There, don't do me. So that's my third job that I fucked up. But the next one was pretty good actually, because it was one of the biggest and one of the best bars in Magaluf. It's called Stereo. I actually still have the hoodie, and actually I know a man who works there still, and he does streaming stuff on Twitch. Well, he was essentially on Mixer, and then obviously Mixer folded, and he went on to Twitch. And he's always kept in touch with that, which I really appreciate, because he's one of the most down to earth guys I've ever met in my life. Um, Fucking cool as fuck. Again, I'll put his links down in the description as well if you want to go check the dude out. So obviously when he's working in Magaluf, he had in his apartment, he actually takes the stuff over with him. So if he has a day off, or he early on the day, he would go and stream and stuff like that, which is fucking class, you know. He's brilliant, very very entertaining. Go check him out, be awesome. But I worked there for about maybe about a month or so. I was doing glass collecting. Now, I lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to last, but this is the place with potentially the worst management I've ever witnessed. Not in terms of their work. They were brilliant businessmen, or whatever, or at least I think they are. Yeah, they're the most like disrespectful pieces of shit I've ever come across in my life, and I swear to God, I'll never forget it. Like literally, you'd be doing something right, and the boss would just come along and say, "Mind my language," because this is a quite offensive word for a lot of people. He'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing, retard?" I was like, "Hey?" It's like, "Yeah, you." I was like, "Well, first of all, don't ever fucking call me that again." And then he was like, "Or what? These people don't give a fuck. You literally cannot even say nothing because they don't give a flying fuck." I thought the motherfucker was going to hit me or something like that there, but you just have to learn to deal with abuse from certain guys from the top at certain bars. This one was one of them. Over time, the longer that I was there, like the more he was starting to you know, gain a wee bit of respect for me. You know what I mean? Maybe because I was the new guy, and but there was no excuse for that. There, I was fucking fuming. I like that was a turning point in that job because like nobody fucking like I don't I can take anything that's thrown at me. If someone, like one of my mates or something came up and called me a retard or something like that, there, I would laugh, I would laugh it off and, make a joke out of it. But not if you're working in a professional environment and one of your bosses come up to you and calls you that and other things as well, which I won't delve into, um, it's quite annoying. And it came to the point in that job where you think you were paid like every Thursday or Wednesday or something like that there, so you go in and get your pay packet. So I went up and I said to him, look, you can shove your job up your hole because, well, I waited till I got my money first. I got my money in my fucking hand, and I says, look, you can shove a job up your ass because you have no respect for me, so you can go fuck yourself. So I just left that place, and yeah, I had a few good nights there. It was pretty decent. I think Tony Bellew, was a special guest one night, in stereo. He was in the bar literally across from the Temple, which is the same bar. Like Michael Leave Weekenders and all like that there were, were like their poster boys or poster women, whatever, for that their club. But if you've ever been to Michael Leave, you'll know the name Stereo. It's probably the biggest and most fanciest bar in Magaluf, even though they're complete assholes. Apart from the staff, I never had problem with staff. The staff were always fucking brilliant to talk to and stuff like that there, but management is a no-go. So when I left that job, I was very close to going home because nothing was working out for me, and my whole confidence was just completely drained because I was like, anytime that I get a job, I'm literally leaving or I'm getting sacked a couple of weeks in. So I sat Stacey down and I says, look, if I don't get a job within the next couple of weeks or so, I'm going home. And that was it. So obviously there was a place in Palmanova. Palmanova is not, it's out of Magaluf just a wee bit, walking distance, but it's literally just around the corner. And I went and asked a bar for a job, and it says, come back at 8 o'clock for a trial run. And I was like, okay. But the more that I was sitting there, before they offered me the trial, I was looking around and I was like, this is not me. If I get this job, I was sitting thinking to myself, like, if I get this job, I'm literally gonna leave the same night. You know what I mean? So I walked over to the bar across the street. It's like a Spanish bar. No English people at all. So I walked in, asked for a couple of beers, and that was probably the best thing that I'd done that whole time in Magaluf, because I sat down, had my beers, and I was in deep thought. I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to this trail run? Sat on that there for about 30 minutes, made up my mind, and then went back home again. But before I went back home, I don't mean back home to Ireland, I mean back home to the apartment, I had one more chance, because when I was sitting there thinking hard about would I take the trial run or not, I was sitting there thinking, should I go for a PR job? Now, when I went over to Magaluf, I said to Stacey I would never, ever, ever do a PR job. Even if I was paid astronomical money, I would never fucking do it, because I'm not the sort of person who goes out and, gets to mingle with people and, try and bring them into bars, and, I'm not that kind of person, But it was the last resort. So before I went back to the apartment, I went down to the bar, literally next door to where Stacey worked, and it was called Joker's. So I approached them and I says, do you have any jobs going? And obviously one of the PRs were saying, well, if you come back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. No, not 7 o'clock. 6 o'clock. We'll go for a trial run for PR. So I was like, all right, okay. So I went home and obviously, got the head down, went for a few beers, and was kind of excited because I was like, this could be the turnaround that I needed, And the night came when I had the trial, and you know what? I was doing pretty well actually. I'm not gonna lie, I was doing pretty well. Obviously, I still needed a wee bit of a kick, to bring more people in. But the more I sat back for about 20 minutes, and I let the head PR, probably one of the best PRs I've ever met, was just taking the reins, and I was sitting there and I was just kind of taking it all in, and how he did it, how he did the seal. If that's the right word for it. No, I don't think so. But obviously, he's looking for his qualities and stuff, and how people listen to him, and the little things he says to get people in. It may not be the actual deal the bar has on, but it brings the people in. So if he brought in like a party of 40, he would sit there on the spot. He would make up drinks. He would make up the promotions, and motherfuckers, 40 people just in the fuck, and the bar would have no choice just to give it to them anyway, because obviously it's a big group. You wouldn't do that to everybody, but for like terms of like the big groups, you would have to do that, because if we didn't bring them in, then the next bar is literally just down next door, which are the rivals. Easy. They would easily be lured in there, because that's probably one of the best bars in Magaluf as well. But this was the place that changed the rest of my stay in Magaluf, because I was there for 5 months, the last 4 or 5 months of the season. And I fucking loved it, guys. I loved it. I loved the PR. I just liked the new experience, the freedom. I could smoke when I wanted. I could have a drink when I wanted. So it was good. Sometimes some people will find it easier to fit into certain jobs over there straight away. For me, it's the same as I am right now. Like, the amount of jobs I go through is fucking ridiculous because I don't feel comfortable, But before you go over, make sure you have your plan wrote out, know exactly what you want, and from there, enjoy your fucking stay, Just don't fuck up like I did, having like 6 jobs. But yeah, I think it was maybe around the last month and a half I was moved on to the bar because we lost a lot of staff, and that was even better, because the crack that we had behind the bar was brilliant. Had probably the best boss that I've ever had over there. Had a few very good friends. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, a lot of stories as well. So yeah, it was a great experience. And when I came home from Magaluf after my time was over, I vowed to never go back. I vowed to never work abroad again. But it isn't really until maybe a few months after you come home and you get a job over here, and you're like, you know what? I regret not going back. But obviously you couldn't go back during the winter because there's no season. You would have to literally know Spanish to work in like restaurants and stuff to keep you going until the summer again. But obviously everything changed. We had kids, and we never got the chance to go back over. Anytime we'd go over now would be literally just go over for a holiday, which would be good. We're planning that there pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah, guys, if you do have a chance to go over and you have made it to this point in the video, don't let anybody stop you. You're your own person. It's valuable life lessons, unless no, I'll not say it. That's too bad. Probably get censored for that there. I'll not say it. But yeah, Just want to go on that wee rant, you know? That's probably took up nearly an hour of this podcast, and we still have to get into Mike Tyson and Elon Musk and gaming. Oh shit. It's gonna be a long ass podcast, guys. Oh my god. Great. Alright. That wraps that one up, folks. Let's get into the next one. I just want to actually want to say here. Have you ever tried the new Monster Chaotic? I tried it yesterday. Some guy, one of my friends, put it in a glass for me and let me try it, but it was all flat. It was still a nice taste to it though. I was like, oh, let's see out there. I'll get it. I'll get it. So I got it today there, and it's fucking lovely, guys. It is very nice. I recommend. Right, let's get these notes. So yeah, I want to get into the Mag Tyson incident, guys. Alright. So I think it happened over a week ago now. I'm pretty late. I was actually meant to cover it last week, but obviously I just wanted to go through different things. So I want to talk about the incident that happened on the airplane. So the person who got assaulted, who got the fuck beat out of him by probably the baddest man on the planet, was called Melvin Townsend. So before people come on and say, you know, what did he do wrong? Well, you haven't seen the fucking video, and if you do your research, you will know that he has prior convictions. There's fraud, grand theft, burglary, possession of a controlled substance as well. He served time twice, a 20-month stint and a 15-month stint. So the motherfucker deserved to get fucking face punched in, you know? I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but convict, you know, doesn't learn. Tries to fucking rile up probably the baddest man on the planet. Like, what else were you expecting? Like a fucking a wee fist bump, and little Grogu just fell over. Sorry, bro. We'll put you back up there, bro. Jesus. Right. So yeah, he deserved everything he got. Even Ice-T came in and defended Mike Tyson, and I actually have the screenshot of his tweet right here, which I'm actually going to quote. So he says, Mike Tyson punched somebody who was fucking with him. The problem is nowadays motherfuckers think they won't get punched in the face. And that is very true. Because I don't even think I have this saved, but Mike Tyson said something there quite a while back. Or he quoted something. I'm trying to figure out where it is. I can't even find it. No, that's Will Smith. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so he read. No, that's not it. God damn it! I don't even know where it is, but we'll misread that there. No, I don't know where it is, but he said something about obviously, defending yourself against people who are heckling celebrities and stuff like that. They deserve to be punched in the face. They should have the right to punch them in the face or whatever. Which I agree. I'd punch a motherfucker who was doing exactly what this guy was doing. Literally threw a bottle at him as well. So why the fuck would he not hit him? You know. But obviously, I'm going to get into it now. What happened? So obviously, this guy Melvin Townsend, he was drunk or intoxicated or whatever, and he was sitting behind Mike Tyson. I'm literally looking at it right now, and there's a guy filming, filming the reaction or whatever, and he seemed very hyped up. He seemed very excited. But over time, as the video went on, he was starting to. You could see by Mike Tyson's face that he was starting to get annoyed. And then it was starting to become a problem. And then he threw a bottle. Townsend threw a bottle at him, and then that's what instigated fucking Mike Tyson to get up and just beat the fuck out of him. So he literally leaped off his seat and started throwing punches into him. Oh, fuck, there's the tweet there from Mike Tyson. He says, social media made y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. Fucking truth right there, man. I had to laugh at the guy's name because it's literally Melvin Townsend the third. So there's fucking 3 motherfuckers before this cunt. Jesus, my God, 3 Townsends, 3 Bellions. Lol. But the latest on the assault. Trying to look through the notes here. There was no, he wasn't charged for assault or anything out there because, obviously, of Townsend's, prior convictions and stuff like that there. So obviously, his attorney turned around and said to the judge, he described Townsend as being an overly excited fan. Well, definitely not, because he was an overly excited twat in this case. Everybody should have the right. Look, I don't condone violence. Violence is obviously... There's times when it's just unavoidable, then there's times where people conduct violence in a way that shouldn't have been, done in the first place. People just do it for the crack, People just want to do it just to feel badass. But there is times where it is totally acceptable. Like if someone was on a plane behind me and started, shouting shit, like literally, I would get up and I would go over and I would fly kick the motherfucker in the face. And that's not a lie. I would, because why would you not? It's just complete disrespect. And they need to shut up for it, But anyway, let's get into the game. So obviously, I'm trying to see if I haven't missed anything here. So obviously, this says Tyson was obviously trying to ignore all of his antics, and then but there's only so much you can take, and then obviously you're gonna fucking go up and bother him, which I'm quite glad actually, because he looked like a right dickhead. I'll actually show you the video here. I'm going to show you the video here now of the incident. I'll just let you watch through it here.
Fuck your boss, fuck my boss.
This is George talking to Mike Tyson, bro. This shit crazy, bro. Mike Tyson.
And all I can hear him say is, we can party. It's like, dude, nobody wants to party with you. Like, you're like 5 Heinekens deep. Give it a rest, bro. You probably...
You don't know how to act.
Right, that's not our video, so I don't want to hear him talk.
Dude said, Mike, he should have taken... We can all agree.
Should have never gave you his money.
Peasants. They're peasants.
So I guess the conversation wasn't going how he wanted Mike Tyson.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, Mike. Hey.
This happened.
So obviously, here's where Tyson starts hitting him. It's fucking brilliant to watch,
Hey. Hey, Mike, come on. Let's go stop back. Let's lose the horse, man. Come on. Hey.
He was giving him some fucking wallops, man.
Yeah, so I mean...
Yeah,
Mike,
I'm not going to listen to him anymore because he's boring as fuck, but it's what it is. I mean, that's kind of really what I really want to talk about, The motherfucker deserved it, and yeah. Just turn into Mike Tyson if someone ever hackles you on an airplane, But yeah, don't do that, because it could turn out a completely different way. But yeah, I sat there really. I don't even know how long this fucking episode's gonna be. This episode's gonna be about fucking 2 hours long. I only wanted to talk about working abroad for about half an hour, so I believe that's nearly an hour long. I'm still up to talk about Elon Musk, but you know what, guys? I think we'll leave that at that. Well, you know what? Yes, we'll do that because what do you call it? The Elon Musk one here is pretty long, but we'll get into the gaming topic there. We'll spend time. We'll spend the first part of the episode 3 of the podcast next week on Elon Musk. So I'd like to be a wee bit more time to obviously talk more about the Mars program. Obviously the journey to Mars. What's the expected date for a crew, a manned mission to the red planet? Which I'm in my element because I fucking love space exploration. I love the whole thing about the universe and stuff like that there. So that's definitely episode 3 will more than likely be focused on the universe and planets and stuff like that there, because my brain just goes literally crazy. So I think that will be more suitable, for episode 3. But we'll get into the gaming part here. The reason why I've left the gaming till the end is because I don't really have that much of an audience for gaming these days. So I kind of really wanted to leave it to the last part, because if I talked about it at the start, obviously people aren't going to relate to it. And be like, oh, this is boring. I don't want to talk. I don't want you to talk about gaming and all that shit, because it doesn't interest me at all. It's fair enough. Which is fair enough. But there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. I think it was a few days ago, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was announced. And I've written here in quotes, is it too late for the series to recover? Now, I don't even have to answer that fucking question, because they fucking named it Modern Warfare 2. They've already named a fucking Call of Duty game Modern Warfare 2. So what is it? Is it a remastered? Is it a fucking just same game, same maps? What is it? Because they're literally going nowhere. Like Call of Duty Cold War, fucking shit. Call of Duty Vanguard, fucking shit. The only thing that made them games sell to an extent was the Warzone from Modern Warfare. Which is fucking class, by the way. Haven't played it in a long time, but it's fucking brilliant. But it's, I don't know. I think Call of Duty needs to wait or take a break for a couple of years and just focus on Warzone. Have a development team just to focus on Warzone for the next couple of years, because you don't need a fucking Call of Duty game every fucking year. Games like that should be made to last for at least 2 or 3 years. It's the same thing with FIFA. I wouldn't mind waiting every 2 years for a FIFA game, because it's not hard for the developers. Once the actual, say for example, so it's FIFA 22, right? So once the next game comes in, say, October time, FIFA 23, scrap that. Just update the kits through an update, because it's just going to be the same fucking game. You know what I mean? FIFA is the same game every single year with different kits. Maybe a couple of new stadiums. Maybe a wee bit of a facelift on certain graphical parts of the game. Maybe a couple of new tricks. Bro, you need... A year is not enough to improve a game. Definitely is not. Definitely isn't. Should look at WWE, for example. WWE 2K20 was an absolute mess of a game. It was so buggy, all that shit. I would love to have a few videos to show you about it, but I just can't be asked. But they waited 2 years. They, took they took in all of the negatives and sat and says, you know what? We're going to take 2 years to build a new WWE game. And I watched the trailer there. I think it was when it was announced, and I was like, holy shit, well played, because that's the way it should be fucking done. The graphics were brilliant. Just everything that they've added into it, much better than the last one. And games like that should have a minimum 2 to 3 years development in between games. Definitely 100%. But I'll not be buying Call of Duty ever again, to be honest. Mainly because I don't have the time to play Call of Duty these days. But there is one game that I'm really excited for, and it's coming out this year. I just spilled my drink everywhere, for fuck's sake. And it's the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy. So obviously, before it was, officially announced through a gameplay teaser. We got like 14 minutes of gameplay. Before that, there was a lot of rumors that it was going to be online, which I got really excited about because what's not to love? Exploring Hogwarts with your friends. Finding secrets of the wizarding world. Be a badass with your mates. Say if you want to be in Slytherin, you want to be a Dark Lord. Run rat in Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and fucking Diagon Alley with your best friend and stuff like that there. But it wasn't really until after that gameplay intro that the developer says that it's not going to be online. It's just going to be single player, which I was excited for the game so much. A wee bit of the excitement left because I was like, you know what? I was looking forward to traveling around with your friends and stuff and exploring. But it's still not bad as long as we have a lot of content and a lot of things we can do to our characters and throughout the world, make our own decisions, make our own path in the wizarding world. I'd be happy enough, just as long as I don't have micro transactions added into that shite, because if there's transactions or anything that makes the game easier to play, no. If there's certain things you have to buy to advance in the game, I will definitely not get it. They can suck a cock, Definitely not for me. But I'll probably end up just banning it anyway, because I'm a pretty big Harry Potter fan. Harry Potter fan, and I'm pretty excited for it because I haven't had a Harry Potter game since fucking Half-Blood Prince, and that wasn't really that great. Maybe back in the day it was great, but I never played it really. I was kind of the early day Harry Potter fan in terms of games, like the Philosopher's Stone on the PS1, all over the Chamber of Secrets, probably two best games I ever played as a child. Just it was phenomenal. It would be GTA, but I mean, just for the sole purpose of being a kid. Like wizards, fucking wizards, folks. Like what's not to fucking love, And the games were just built so well, especially back in the day. But that's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Harry Potter covered there. There's also, as I said at the start of the podcast, ads in games. So Microsoft and PlayStation plans to introduce this to free-to-play games. But who are they fooling? Because that's the first stage. Fair enough. Free-to-play games. I don't really play many free-to-play games. I don't really think anybody really plays them, but that's only the start because they'll implement it into the free-to-play games, and then a year later they'll start implementing it to mainstream games like your AAA titles. So I don't know what way they're going to implement it into the games, but say if I'm sitting there mid-game and a cutscene pops up with an ad, the first thing that I will do, I will unplug my Xbox, I will take it down to the crusher in the dump, and I will crush that motherfucker because I'm sick of advertisements when I'm watching videos on YouTube. I'm not just hating on it because it disturbs, watching videos and stuff like that there. I understand that there's money to be made for content creators and stuff with ads in their videos, which is totally understandable. I've had ads in my streams before, for people who weren't subscribed. But if there is a way to stop that, I know there's a way on YouTube. You can sign up for like $11.99 a month, which gives you ad-free viewing. I've actually had it before, and I will be getting it again because I am sick of these fucking adverts when I'm watching podcasts and I'm watching something that I'm enjoying. I hate having fucking 4 or 5 ads pop up in the space of 20 minutes because it really does take away from the entertainment that you're watching. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about it. I am not for it. If they keep it to free to play games, great, because I'll never play them motherfuckers, But again, they will bring it to mainstream platforms eventually because ads are literally the way forward, and stuff like that there. So I'm not for it, but it is what it is. I suppose that's the future of, more people, more companies making more money off us. We're just the slaves to these people. We pay them. That's the way it's always going to be. It is what it is. We're slaves of this world, guys. We always will be till the day we die. Fucking work every day of our lives for what? Fuck all. Well, it is what it is. Let me see. There's also. I should have probably started with that there in the first place. My prediction for gaming in the future, especially with engines like the Unreal Engine. So, if you're tuning in here and you are, an experienced gamer or like graphics or always keep up to date with, the latest games and stuff like that, there was a game demo that came out there maybe at the start of the year or just before January of The Matrix, and it was unveiling the new Unreal Engine. And holy God, guys. Holy God. Before this actual gameplay trailer or gameplay whatever came out, there was screenshots. And you would never have fucking guessed that was a game. I couldn't believe it, guys. I couldn't even believe that this is even possible. Go and check it out. Check out the Matrix game gameplay trailer or gameplay whatever. I don't even know what way to pronounce it because it's like 20 minutes long. You can actually play it on Xbox. So go and check it out because it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like literally photorealistic gameplay. You would, if you put an image from that game to an image in real life and jumbled them up, and you ask someone in the public what's the difference, or let them choose which one's reality and which one is virtual reality, you wouldn't know. I wouldn't even know, and I've been gaming for fucking 20 years. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out because it's fucking class. So imagine, like, we're living in the golden age. I thought I didn't think games could get any better, graphics wise, today, like. But the more stuff that's coming out with each generation of consoles and each generation of tech for PCs and stuff, oh my God, it's getting even more ridiculous. Like, one day, VR headsets are going to have graphics like that trailer. Unbelievable. Unreal. Maybe someday we'll be tuned into like a Matrix kind of styled shirt or whatever. Obviously, I wouldn't want a needle stuck in the back of my head, but obviously with the headset. And I could see one day of us actually being imported into a virtual reality computer, So obviously your consoles would obviously be, connected up to like a large server where everyone is intertwined and everybody is communicating within that world. You wouldn't be able to tell reality from obviously virtual reality. It's crazy. One day, guys, that's going to happen. And I can't wait. I literally can't wait. Unbelievable. Class. But there was another thing that I was going to say here, and it was from Mark Zuckerberg, and it was a VR headset. I don't think I really want to talk about that because it's not really related to gaming at all. We'll just go through it quickly here. So obviously, he quoted a VR headset, but not for gamers. So it kind of, I was looking at it, I was like, you know what? We'll talk about it because, we'll see how it goes. But he says the headset will replace your laptop or PC, only if it's comfy. Now, me personally, I would not want to have a fucking VR headset. If I was sitting down in a hotel and I needed to go on the laptop or anything like that there, I wouldn't just want to pull out a big fucking VR headset. Unless they make it a certain way that makes it stylish and comfortable. Obviously what he said there, but like, it's not necessarily great to use, How are you going to use it? You don't have a mouse or keyboard or anything out there. But he did say that there is a built-in eye tracking thing for it. So your avatar can make eye contact and facial expressions, in which dramatically improves sense of what's that say? I can't even read my own writing, guys. Improves sense of presence. I don't know. So unless you're looking at your browser, like say, like I'm looking into you right now. If I look over here with my eyes, obviously your eyes would be necessarily the mouse cursor on your laptop or computer. So you're literally looking around. But how are you going to actually fucking click on things? I don't know. That sounds. I don't think that'll ever work. To be quite fair, but yeah. As I said, guys, I'll get into that Elon Musk one in the next one because we're going to set a theme for episode 3. The theme is going to be obviously the universe and stuff like that. And we're starting to drop frames again, so I do apologize. It's been a fucked up performance for the podcast today. But again, if you did enjoy this podcast, guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up and make sure you hit the subscribe button to help the channel out. And I will see you next Sunday, folks, for the next episode of the Mystic Podcast. Maybe a guest? No, won't be a guest for an while, guys. But yeah, if you have made it to the end, thank you very much. Hope you have an awesome week. And yeah, tune into this one next week. We'll be talking about the universe, Elon Musk, and our journey to Mars. So yeah, take it easy, folks. Have a good one. And again, thank you so much for the support on the last episode of the podcast, and I'll see you next Sunday. Fucking yeah, boy. Rest in peace. What?